Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Sip and Stephanie. How are you all doing this evening? I'm actually pouring my sip right now. So, what are you all sipping on? Well, first of all, welcome to the Stephanie Humphrey channel and the Stephanie Humphrey podcast. We are so excited that you are here with us this evening as we talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. I do not have a lot of news. You all know I have decreased my news significantly over the last year or so. And so I only have one a bit of news with several parts of the news and then a few other things that I will share with you this evening for Sip and Say with Stephanie. So we will be talking about the lynchings of Black people. I will talk a little bit about back to school, National Black Business Month, and then I will introduce what we're going to do next Thursday with National Month of Wellness. Woo! So excited that you all are here to join this episode tonight. It is, August 20th, 2026. Look, if you're tuned in, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel or the podcast. And don't forget to share this episode with other people. So, look, how are you all doing? How are you doing mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and socially? How are you all doing? I'm doing good tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. I was driving home from work and I was just like, I just want to go home, get cleaned up, and get my hind parts in the bed. That's all I want to do. It was a full day at work today. You all were back to school this week, and it was a full day of work today. And child, I just want to go to bed. But I got part stuff done. I'll get the other part done after the show because I'm going to bed after he is. Let me just tell you that. I'm gonna do a few things, but then I'm going to bed shortly thereafter. Let me tell you, because I am ready to dive into my bed. So that's how I'm doing. I was up a little later than I should have been last night doing some things I needed to do. I wasn't piddling, I wasn't scrolling social media. I was actually doing some things that I needed to do, but it caused me, I got a late start after Bible study. I'm not blaming Bible study, but got a late start when the Bible study came home. Prepared to do the things that I needed to do, got them done. And child, I sat down on my recliner for just a second. I was out. Do you hear me? Like literally just a second and was out. And so, So anyway, I'm ready. I'm ready for bed. Okay, so tell me how you all are doing. Add it to the comment section, or add it to the chat, the live chat if you're watching live, or you can add it to the comment section later. If you're watching via podcast, please leave me a comment and let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling, what's going on with you. I do look for comments and I do read your comments, and so I'm thankful for you willing to engage with me. And so now that I know how you're doing, or at least you're going to tell me soon or a little later if you're listening to the rebroadcast, tell me what y'all are sipping on. So I was going to sip on something different tonight, but I got my normal H2O, y'all. I got my H2O that I'm sipping on tonight. Good old H2O. Okay, let's get into our Black History facts. I didn't even take my calendar down tonight. But let's get into our Black History facts. Again, it is August 20th, 2026. Let me get some help. On August 20th, 1619, a Dutch ship lands in Jamestown, Virginia, carrying the first kidnapped Africans trafficked to colonial Virginia, where they were sold into slavery. August 19th, 1916, a mob of 200 white farmers hangs a 21-year-old Black man named Edward Lang in Navarre County, Texas. See, that's why you can't tell me that these hangings that are happening now, that folks did it to themselves. That's just very, very hard for me to believe. August 18th, 1889, a white mob lynches a black man named Walter Asbury in Chatham County, Chatham County, Georgia, and leaves his body hanging for a full day to terrorize the local community. August 17th, 1923, an estimated 1,000 white men and women participate in a Ku Klux Klan initiation ceremony outside of Warwick, New York. Yes, yes. The North didn't mind slavery either. Don't let nobody tell you different. August 16th, 1904, a mob of unmasked white men in Maringa County, Alabama, lynches Rufus Lassier, a 24-year-old black man, and leaves his bodies riddled with bullets. You've got to be a sick, sick person to do such things. On August 21st, 1959, Arkansas Supreme Court Justice Jim Johnson urges thousands at a pro segregation rally to, quote, do what needs to be done, unquote, to stop the integration of public schools. And white people, a lot still have that mentality. Do whatever you want to do to black people. And we're going to talk about it tonight with some of these lynchings that have been happening more often than they should. Y'all, I'm going to be short and sweet. I'm going to just tell y'all how I feel it so I can do the little bit I'm going to do tonight and get myself ready for some sleep. Y'all ready to sleep? Let me just tell you, I'm ready. All right, so doesn't help me to keep talking about it, do it, because see, y'all might be ready to go to sleep too. Come on here, somebody. But we're gonna get our sleep on and get some good rest tonight because I definitely need some good rest tonight. Hallelujah. You all know I did. I also thought about doing the second part of Bible study, but I'll get to that in September, Lord willing. But I told y'all last week I was going to do my sip and say with Stephanie. I know I missed a few things with the voting and registration and all that, which I am going to give y'all daily reminder. Let me go ahead and give it to you now. Do not forget to make a plan to vote whenever your midterms are. A lot of primaries are happening now, but the midterm election is November 3rd for most states. I think there are a few states who do have a different date, but November 3rd is a general election. And so I'm inviting you to check your voter registration, ensure that you are still active. If you are not active, go to your county board of elections and find out why. I invite you to make a plan to vote, whether you're going to do early voting or early vote, whether you're going to mail in your ballot. I invite you to please check your State Board of Elections website to see what the dates are for early voting, what the dates are for mail-in ballots, and find out where maybe your precinct has changed that you're voting, so make sure that you're voting at the same precinct or look for the updated precinct that you will be voting in, so get that information as well. Our ballots should be available maybe in October, I'm not quite sure, but ballots will be available for you to view your ballot so that you know who is on the ballot for November or whenever your midterm is. And then you can look up the candidates. You can actually look them up now on your State Board of Elections website and list those who are running and for what offices. And so you can look those up, get information about the candidates that you are not familiar with, find out what their history is as far as serving the community, helping others out, standing firm and flat-footed and up, standing firm and flat-footed and standing up for citizens, for the community, for those who are in the greatest need. Look for those who align with the principles that you hold dear, your values that you hold dear, and so vote your conviction. But whatever you do, vote your conviction and vote. Encourage your family, encourage your friends, encourage your coworkers, encourage your enemies. Encourage everybody to cast their ballot in 2026 midterm elections, okay? Your vote is needed. And y'all, we can see exactly what is happening in our country and we can see who we need to vote for, which political party candidate we need to vote for. And just in case you all don't know or didn't know, Donald Trump uses mail-in ballots, even though he is trying his best to stop mail-in ballots. Many mail-in ballot stations, I know they're not called stations, but the drop boxes for mail-in ballots, many of them have been removed. And now there is a guideline with the Postal Service to say that your mail is not necessarily postmarked the day that it's picked up by United States Postal Service. They have the jurisdiction, if you will, or they have the authority to decide when your mail is going to be postmarked. So it is possible that your mail-in ballot will not be sent to the state board of or to the county board of elections in a timely manner. Just so much going on in these here divided states of America. So please pay attention to what's going on in your county, in your state. I know that a lot of times we don't vote we don't vote in midterm elections because we don't see the importance or the necessity. You all, midterm elections are absolutely necessary. They determine our city council member, our county commissioners, our school board leaders, judges, aldermen, if you have aldermen in your area, mayor, of course, governor, that's the state. And of course, so those are our local elections. Make sure I got everybody, city and county. The clerk of court, and those other city positions are voted upon at that time. I'm trying to think, make sure I got everything locally. And what I forgot or didn't remember, you all put it in the chat so that I can get a reminder of all the positions: judges, city officials like city councilman, county commissioner, school board. These are all positions, like I said, the mayor. These are all positions that matter when it comes to what resources we're going to receive and how those resources are allotted. Bills that are set, how the judicial system operates in your particular county. Of course, we have the United States Constitution, you have your state constitution, but there are also other guidelines that judges abide by. And then they have the ability to interpret the law. And so it is so important that we get the right people in office. Our not only the judges, but our Supreme Court justices as well. And so it is important, you all, essential to, in my opinion, essential to life to vote in every election, and in particular midterm elections. Okay. For some midterms, you might be voting on your U.S. senators. The House of Representatives is everybody voting on House of Representatives because all positions are up for grabs right now. I think it's what, 435 or 436 positions. We did the governor races and lieutenant governor last election cycle, so we shouldn't have that. Well, let me just speak for my state. In North Carolina, we had that last time, so we shouldn't have it now. And I really don't know, part of my ignorance, but I really don't know if that is consistent across every state. As far as like presidential elections, governors and lieutenant governors are voted on within that same year. I've actually never paid any attention to how it works throughout the states in America. But I do know so anyway, I don't know how that works in every state, and don't even really know how it works in mine, to be honest with you, as far as if governor and lieutenant governor align with presidential elections. So you all, please educate me, please give me some guidance on that if you have that information. I'll also look it up for myself to see what it is. And so, I don't have my device over here. I plan to bring it over here so I can tell you all what elections are upcoming. I may end up pulling it up online so you can see what elections are coming up. We still have a few states that have not voted yet. We have some voting. Today's the 20th, so we had some on the 11th, some on the 18th, some on the 4th. I don't know if we have any more coming up this week. I mean, I didn't mean to say this week, but this month. But I do know that there are a few states that are voting in September, I think in early September, of course, so they can prepare for the November elections or whenever their general election is. I think that's all I want to say. Just make sure that you check your voter registration, make a plan to vote, and make sure that you get out and vote, and make sure that you're encouraging everybody that you're connected with to vote. And for anybody who is willing to listen to you while you're out and about in the world, if you're talking about elections, or just remind them, please vote. Please check your voter registration, make a plan to vote, and vote. Oh, and if you're willing to connect with a candidate, excuse me, y'all, let me take a sip. If you're willing to connect with a candidate in your area, to do some or not a candidate, yes, a candidate and or a community organization that is canvassing the community or making phone calls or text messages. I don't like to get them either. But if you're willing to do that, then I encourage you to do that as another means of informing your informing your family, but informing your community is what I want to say about who's running and potentially candidates that you can vote for. Whether you do that or not is okay, but if you feel like you want to be a part of the political process and that's the way you choose to do it, I truly encourage you to do it. It's good. I have canvassed before. I haven't signed up yet to do it this year, but I have been thinking about it. I've made phone calls, y'all, knocked door to door, like I've done it, and it's a joy to do it. And of course, you have those individuals who don't you want to have that conversation with you. They want you to forget the number, so we of course mark it off of the call log that we have. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when I did it because I like to talk anyway. So, but anyway, if that's a way that you would like to participate in the political process, I encourage you to do it. It's really rewarding to, and we didn't focus on candidates. Yes, we did. I'm sorry. Yes, we did. We have focused on candidates before, and then at other time, it's just vote your conviction. Like we're not trying to influence you one way. Yes, there have been times. Yes, we try to influence your vote. We are trying not to influence your vote. Let me not say that. I take that back. We are trying to give you an option of who to vote for based on our experience with that person and based on their history already in serving their community. So we're giving you a person that you could potentially vote for. Even if you canvass or someone else is calling you or canvassing you in a sense, always look up the person that they're talking to. I recently talked to someone who asked me about voting for a particular person, and I know a little bit about this person's history. And I told the caller, I was like, "Thank you for calling. I cannot give you a confirmation that I will vote for this person, but I will continue to, track their record. What is there some issues?" This was the caller. Are there some issues that this political candidate who's already in office? Is there some issues that are near, they didn't say these words, but that's my paraphrase, that are near and dear to your heart that they can address? Oh yes, I laid that out. I sure did. Education was the top priority. Come on, public school education. So and I'm not talking about public charter schools, forget slash that. I'm talking about public schools. We ain't talking about no charter school. And so for the most part. And so that was like number one. And then I, shared some other things about pre-K in particular and healthcare and SNAP benefits and just different things that are near and dear to my heart. Families being able to feed their children via SNAP benefits, families being able to provide health care or to take their children to the doctor through healthcare credits and reduced healthcare costs. So being able to provide that service to their children. If they're sick, they want to be able to take their children to the hospital or to their doctor, to the urgent care, wherever it is. If they are sick as an adult, they want to be able to go and get checked out and it not cost, or we say an arm and a leg, and so reducing healthcare costs. America is such a capitalistic country. Everything that is built here from a higher place is all about money, all about somebody lining their pockets, always about somebody getting paid. I do know we should be paid for our services. We should be paid for providing whatever services that we offer. But if you are in a place where you are charging people astronomical prices to benefit you or your shareholders, that's not good. Um, there was a there was a article that I glimpsed. I did not read. I glimpsed it earlier this week, and then I glimpsed it again this evening, where a mother of four was saying I glimpsed it. Yeah, I didn't read the whole article. She was saying she was eating ice, ice, frozen water ice, to make sure that her kids could eat. So she was getting a good portion of SNAP benefits, and they unexpectedly ran out. And so I can't remember which news outlet I was reading that article on. But it's so interesting because, and I'm going to get to sip and say with Stephanie. Right now, I'm just talking. It's so interesting that some of the comments. I don't know if people know what it's like to be hungry. If you've never been hungry, of course you're not going to know what it's like. The comments were like, well, you need to get out and work. You shouldn't have all those kids. It's my experience that the more kids you have, the more you get on welfare. And so, you shouldn't be doing that. And of course, it got me to thinking about my own life. I was like, well, let me just, think about this before I start judging these people, because judgment immediately came. I got to think about my own life. I've been hungry. I have been unhoused while working as an educator. I was an instructional assistant at that time, working every single day, Monday through Friday in the school system, and I was not able to provide for myself. And so I became unhoused. I have been hungry before, unhoused. I have lived without water before. I have lived without electricity before because I could not afford, at the salary that I was making at that time, working every single day in the school system. I want to emphasize that I'm working every single day in the school system, and still was not able to provide just pay for my basic bills. And so yes, I know what it's like. And I would like to think that even if I didn't know what it was like, that I would have empathy for those who may need that service. No, I did not reach out to social services to get any help for myself. I just made it work. I just made it work. I made it work. And I'm thankful that I'm still working for the school system and I'm in a much better position now. But at that time, it was difficult to provide for myself. I did not have a car, so I walked. Where I actually was able to walk to work because my job was fairly close to where I lived. I walked to the grocery store. I walked to grocery store, wherever else I needed to go. I walked. Thankfully, the church van picked me up, and so I was able to use that. And when I wasn't able to use that, like for Bible study or something like that, I would take the city bus. I did what I needed to do to take care of myself, but I literally worked every day. And I probably should have applied for social services, but I didn't because I guess I always feel like somebody else needs that more than I do. Now, when I lost my job, I did apply for social services and I did get benefits. I did get some help and support. And once I, once I was able to start working again, then I wasn't, receiving those supports before. But I said all that to say sometimes people just need help. It doesn't matter. The children are here. The children should not have to suffer. Excuse me, y'all. Children shouldn't have to suffer because we feel like their parents shouldn't receive government assistance, SNAP benefits. And we don't know why that mother has those children. Like, We don't know, what her history is, what her story is. And so judging, we're such a society who judges and says what people should be doing. Ooh, child, 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 child. So anyway, that made me sad to think that that mother is eating ice to make sure her children. So what happened was she made close to $1,000 in, or she received close to $1,000 in SNAP benefits, but it was suddenly cut off. And so I think she's been waiting for them to renew it, but I think they not renew it, but for her SNAP benefits to start up again. But I don't think it was going to be at the level that it was. And I'm looking at these babies. And so you all, this is one of the reasons why teachers, we spend money for our kids. Not all the money that we spend are for school supplies. Some of it is for food for our children. I've given out grocery store gift cards, not on my own, but the school that I was working at the time, the assistant principal kept grocery store gift cards in her desk. She told us, if somebody's in need, come let me know, come tell me. She would hand out gift cards, and we would give them to the families. We don't know people's situation, you know, loss of a spouse. Like, we don't know, her husband may have died, or whoever was helping provide for her could have potentially died. Like, we don't know people's situations, but we're always so quick to judge. And so again, teachers don't just use money for school supplies for children, spending money out of our pocket. Sometimes it's for clothes, sometimes it's for shoes, sometimes it's for a nap blanket, because the children come in every day and don't have it, or come in Monday and don't have it because we send it home at the end of the week to get washed, bring it back on Monday. We sometimes spend for food, for groceries. Some school districts or some schools have backpack buddies where churches and individuals and other organizations sponsor providing food. Ooh, so that when children go home at the end of the week, we can ensure that they'll have some food to eat, because we don't know. So it made me sad that people were judging her. Some people need the help. Some people need the help. When I was younger, we were on government assistance for a couple of years. I know of a couple of years. When I went off to college, I'm not sure if my mom was still receiving government assistance, but it really was helpful for us to receive that support. And some people just need the help. And as far as healthcare, getting back to not us, but America being a capitalistic society, I believe that in this country, they want us to stay sick, because the sicker that we are, the more we can take medication and go to the doctors and go to the emergency services. And pockets are being increased, not the consumer's pocket, but the pockets of pharmaceutical companies. And yes, I do believe that there are doctors who are in community, not community, that's the wrong word, in bed with. I really didn't want to say in bed with, but I believe that there are healthcare professionals that are in partnership, if we can call it a partnership, with pharmaceutical companies to keep us on medication and to keep us sick. I believe that. I believe that with everything that is within me, and I don't think anybody can shake the fact that I believe that that is a real, that is real, that is what is happening, that's a fact. That there are medical professionals that are in cahoots with, partnership with, whatever term you would like to insert, with pharmaceutical companies to keep their executives, their stakeholders, as their stockholders, rich, and keep poor and working class people sick and struggling and some of everything else. Please pay attention to what's going on in the world, which has been going on for a while now. America has always been a capitalistic society. That has not changed, not even a little bit. And so that's my rant that I had not planned to go on, but that is where it is. And so please vote, 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 vote. to make sure that people are in office that are going to fight for you and fight for the best interests of your family and your community. Yeah. All right, you all. Little bit of news, and it's really just a little bit. So you all know there have been several lynchings, is what they are. There have been several Black young people found hanging from trees. Many of them, some of them, many of them have been ruled as suicide. What gets me is that our news coverage, which is nothing new, mainstream media, do not report or have not reported some of these lynchings that have happened within the Black community. And I don't remember reading or hearing about, and I meant to look it up before I came on, so please forgive me. I am going to look it up though. Let me drink some water. I'm not sure what's going on. But the only reports I hear is about Black people being hung from trees. I haven't seen any white people, any reports about white people or Asian people or Spanish people, but Black people. Now, if I'm wrong, I will take correction. I do not mind. I don't mind being corrected. But I haven't heard about or seen any reports of any other culture of people but Black people hanging from trees. I only have a few, and then I'm gonna give you some homework. I'm gonna give y'all some homework. And so we've had Troy Reed. This was in 2025. Um, Hanging from a tree at Delta State University in Mississippi. Troy Medley, 39, was found hanging from a tree at the Brookfield Hills Golf. Both of them were, and this was in Wisconsin, both of them ruled a suicide. Juliana was found on May 8th at the United House of Prayer for All People in Charlotte, North Carolina. She had been reported missing for a few days, and so she was found with interesting circumstances around her. It was noted that she was found near a tree with a strap around her neck. Her feet was resting on the ground, and there was a small blue chair. That sounds staged to me. And then what gets me is some of the people noted that they thought it was a doll by this tree. Girl, you can't, child, we can't make this stuff up. We cannot make this stuff up. They ruled her death a suicide. It was noted by the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department. They did close the case, and the medical examiner said that she ruled it a suicide. That there was no evidence of physical assault, no evidence of foul play, no evidence of sexual assault. So Juliana's death was ruled a suicide. Now this one, did I get everybody? And then of course we have the most recent young lady. Her name is Tasia Fortune, 29, was found hanging from a tree in the backyard of what has been noted as an abandoned home in Jackson, Mississippi. Mm, mm, mm. They are still investigating her death, but I don't know if they have ruled her as a suicide or not, but it is noted they're still investigating her death. Now, this actually happened in Raleigh, North Carolina. A 32-year-old Black man was found hanging from a tree. His identity has not yet been released. I didn't get the date for this, but this was recent, like this year recent. But I wanted to share some information about this one. because I thought this Raleigh police chief Rico Boyce, I thought what he had to say was okay. So this is what they said. Um, it was noted. It was said that traffic camera footage showed this 32-year-old black man walking alone and toward the tree, carrying an electrical cord. And then it is noted that this traffic camera footage captured the incident. I have so many thoughts. This is what Raleigh police chief said. Quote, no one else is seen in the area when this incident occurred. End of quote. EMS, a man was walking by, 911 was called. The Wake County EMS and the Raleigh Fire Department, they came on the scene. They initiated life-saving measures. He was pronounced dead on scene. We're back to a quote by Police Chief Rico Boyce. Quote, based upon the evidence collected and reviewed to date, investigators have found no evidence indicating that another person caused or contributed to the young man's death, and no evidence of a criminal act has been identified. Our investigation confirms that this is a suicide. Concerning social media, police chief Raleigh police chief went on to say, quote, some of those posts, I haven't seen any of the posts, contain information that is flat out inaccurate, misleading, or unsupported by the evidence currently available to investigators. And so the police department was encouraging individuals not to share videos or alleged misinformation or whatever the case may be. Like, just, they were encouraging the community not to do that. This is another quote by Police Chief Rico Boyce. We strongly encourage members of the, I don't want to read that. Well, I'm going to read it since I started it. But I hadn't planned to read it. We strongly encourage members of the public to avoid sharing unverified information, photographs, videos, or speculation that could further traumatize this young man's family or unnecessarily create fear and division within our community. He goes on to say, as with all unattended, this is another quote, as with all unattended or unexpected deaths, investigators are conducting a thorough investigation in coordination with the medical examiner's office. The final determination regarding the cause and manner of death will rest with the medical examiner. The mayor, she did note, quote, I want to express my great sorrow as mayor for the death of one of our own under tragic circumstances. I want to extend my condolences to his friends and family. I have so many things to say, and I know to sip and say with Stephanie, but I'm going to keep. I'm just sharing the information right now. I may give my commentary in a minute, but I'm just sharing. I had to look up this police chief because I'm just like I need to know what he looks like, and I had thoughts about what he looked like, and so I'm moving on, just giving us the information. Child, So the body of, this is another lynching. The body of Demar Travion, I'm praying that I'm saying this young man's name correctly. Trey, quote, is what he seems to have been called, Reed of Grenada, was found on the Cleveland campus of Delta State University on September 15th. hanging from a tree near the Central Campus pickleball courts just after 7 a.m. I'm trying to figure, like, I'm not an expert. And y'all, this is Mississippi, just so y'all know, Delta State is Mississippi. I there was some reports on social media that he was physically harmed. But the Bolivar County Coroner's Office said in a statement, quote, well, first of all, unquote, okay, Mr. Reed, quote, did not suffer any lacerations, contusions, compound fractures, broken bones, or injuries consistent with an assault, unquote. Because there was some, some social media information saying that he was not had been attacked or had some broken bones in his leg, or his legs were damaged some kind of way. And so the coroner's office addressed that. Another quote, at this time, there is no evidence to suggest the individual was physically attacked before his death. Whew. This is by no means all of the lynchings that have happened this year. I do want to read you all this, and then I have one more thing to add to the 32-year-old Raleigh man. But let me go back up to get this person's name, their full name. I didn't write his name down, maybe. Okay, so I don't know who this person is. Let me look him up really quickly, because I don't know who this person is that said this. And I want to be able to say exactly who he is, but for some reason, oh, there it is. There it is. The Bolivar County Deputy Coroner Murray Rourke. This is what he said. Quote, I don't think I should probably discuss this any further. Okay, so he in his report, or talking to the Mississippi Free Press. So he told the Mississippi Free Press that concerning Mr. Trey, that he, quote, did not, unquote, he did not, or he, quote, saw no broken bones, unquote. He went on to say, quote, I don't think I should probably discuss this any further than that. My opinion is that it was self-done, and I have reasons for that, unquote. Well, child, what's your reasons? I mean, you don't owe me an explanation, but certainly the family needs to know, like, what are your reasons for saying that? Like, what else was found that you're not sharing? You said what didn't happen, but what did you find that you're possibly not sharing, with the community? And if his parents, if it's so that you're not able to share with the community, at least his family should know what's going on. So Travion Reed. Oh, Mississippi. And you I do want it noted for the 32-year-old Black man found in Raleigh. It was noted by his mom that the young man did suffer from mental health issues in the past. Mental health issues in the past. Of course, the police or the report wanted to indicate that, so that it can go along with the quote unquote narrative of suicide. Child, I think that's my last one. No, I think I got one more. Nope, that was my last one. That was my last one. So how many was that? That was about 5 or 6 lynchings. Again, it's not all of the lynchings that have taken place within the last year or so. But Too many, too many already. And you all, I want to share this information. I don't even think I'm gonna make a comment because like, how can you hang yourself is what I've been trying to figure out. Like, is it possible for that to happen potentially? But all of these Black people are not dying by suicide. I just don't buy it, and I don't believe it. That video footage within the with the first story, I'm hoping that the family was able to see that video, or that video footage that they were referencing, and I hope that they are able to get a copy, and then I hope that they take it to an expert to scrub it or to see if it has been doctored. I'm not making accusations, but I would just be curious to know, like, is this foot like I would want to know. I would get an expert to let me know if that video was authentic or if it was not. So, you all, I want you all to know that there is such a thing, which I did not know this, and I am glad to know this now. A report called a Crimson Report, and it is by Jill Collen Jefferson with the Julian Freedom. With Julian Freedom. And so Julian Freedom is not a person. I don't know who, wait, you know what? Let me backtrack. I don't know. I didn't look up to see who Julian Freedom was or is, but if you go on the website, it says Julian. So I'm assuming that this was a person that may have been lynched or family member that may have been killed, whatever the case may be. I did not do that research. I apologize. I'm going to put the link in the chat and it will also be in the description so you all can do the research for yourself. But this Crimson Report, I'm actually going to go to it because I want to read some of it to you. But it talks about the lynchings that have I can't remember the link in the chat, so you all can read it for yourself as well. This is actually the press release, so you can get information about when the Julian report, not the Julian report, excuse me, when a Crimson Report was released. So you can get that information for yourself and you can read it for yourself because y'all, it's some good information. It's a long report. It is. It's 222 pages. But I believe that it is worth our attention. So the link is in the chat now for you to look that up for yourself. But I wanted to give you just a little bit about, I keep saying Crimson Report, and a Crimson Record is what it says here. It does say Crimson Report, but the official sheet of it says a Crimson Record. Let me go here for just a second to make sure. Give me just a second, y'all. It might be both. It might, but I'm fact checking myself in real time. So Crimson Record. I want to correct myself. It is exactly what the report says, a Crimson Record. So I want to correct myself. All right, y'all. So 7-state modern day lynching MDL report from 2000 to 2005 by Jill Collen Jefferson. You all, I just want to share some of the numbers with you because I thought it was important for us to get these numbers so you all can hear these numbers and be able to, or just, read the report so you can see it and know it for yourself, okay? So 7 states. Between 20 and 2025, JULIAN, this is an organization, they were identified over 70 modern day lynchings across the 7-state region, with Mississippi reporting the highest number. So Mississippi's modern day lynching 20, Texas 13, Georgia 14, Louisiana 11, Florida 11, Tennessee 5, Alabama 1. It is also noted in this particular graph that I'm looking at hate crimes or suspicious deaths, separate column, in Mississippi 7, Texas 22, Georgia 11, Louisiana 14, Florida 20, Tennessee 4, and Alabama 5. I really want you all, I put the link in the chat. I really want you all to go through this report, take your time, because again, it's 222 pages. And you all know some of those last pages are the end notes, which, excuse me, which cite sources. And so y'all know uh, this is a Crimson record. I'm sorry, Crimson record. Most papers, reports, records have an, especially this big, have an extensive I call it an index. I don't know why I call it an index, but has an extensive end notes. And they're not called end notes. Let me see. Child, I just wrote a paper. It was in 2025, so I should remember what it's called because mine was like a couple of pages, and I think my paper was like 25, 26 pages, but I think my end notes were at least maybe a page and a half, maybe just a page. Maybe it was just a page. It was a short story. The bibliography, I knew it had a name. Y'all pardon me. I should know this stuff right off, but sometimes I don't. So the bibliography actually starts at page 189 based on the information I have in front of me, and then it goes on. Y'all know bibliographies. It gives the links and the book titles and all the information from where the sources were cited. And so, you all, I encourage you to check out this Crimson record. I do want you all to know that this Crimson record is kind of like the second part of Ida B. Wells' The Red Record. Okay, The Red Record by Ida B. Wells, which is available for purchase. I just don't know the publishing companies that have taken Ida B. Wells' The Red Record. I don't know if they're Black-owned publishing companies or white-owned publishing companies, but this Red Record is available. They do acknowledge Ida B. Wells as the author. I just don't know who's getting the money for purchasing these things. That's all I'm saying. But the Red Record was released by Ida B. Wells in 1895. She actually detailed investigations about widespread lynchings of African Americans in post-Civil War South. The data that Miss Ida B. Wells collected indicated that between 1864 and 1894, there were over 10,000 Black people, over 10,000 African Americans killed by lynching. Many of them under the pretext that there were alleged crimes, that there was political intimidation, and we know that their white perpetrators were very rarely prosecuted for the crimes that they committed against us. Over 10,000, that was in a 30-year period. Over 10,000 African Americans, and those are based on the data that she had. There could have been more that were missed, but based on the data that Ida B. Wells collected. So the Red Record by Ida B. Wells, the Crimson Record, is like not a second part, but it is an extension of Miss Ida B. Wells' Red Record. Okay, so I wanted us to have that information so that we can always get the history for ourselves, get the information for ourselves, research for ourselves, so that we have a first person account to what is happening or what has happened. A first person account, not a first person account. We can't be a first person account. I'm sorry, that's not right. So that we can get information for ourselves. Okay, not the first person account because we weren't alive in the 1800s. but we get the information for ourselves by researching, by reading, by studying. We get the information for ourselves. That's what I meant. So I apologize for that. Okay, you all. So I wanted to give you that information that is yours. Please do some research. There's also, oh, I'm gonna have to get up, y'all, because I forgot to bring something over that you all need to see. Okay, and so, but before I get there, so I'm done with the news. Like I said, it was gonna be short and sweet this evening. I do want to acknowledge that this is National Baptist, not national, but I was about to say National Black Business Month, which it is. It's National Black Business Month. Whoop, whoop. So I'm gonna talk about some Black-owned businesses tonight. But it is back to school month. Many schools across, at least in America, have gone back to school. Many schools have gone back to school. Many children have gone back to school. Many schools are open. Many children have gone back to school. We, as a staff, came back this week. Our children come back next week. So parents, these are some things that you can do if you haven't done them already to get your babies ready for back to school. Y'all go ahead and get that sleep schedule together. Let me tell y'all something. When my niece and nephew, who has been with me the longest, when they stayed with me during the summer in July, I would have them to start going to bed early in preparation for August. Now, I don't know what they did when they got back home. That wasn't my business. But while they were with me, we started them going back to bed or going to bed at a certain time to get them familiar with school is starting in a few weeks. Okay. Weekends, we stayed up, we did our little party and stuff on Friday night, Saturday nights. We usually went in to bed early, to get some sleep for church. But Friday night was like our stay up night. And sometimes Thursday, depending on what was going on. And so, but I did start them back to bed early. So go ahead and reset your sleep time, get them babies in the bed by 8 o'clock, no later than 9 o'clock if they're the younger ones, and go ahead and get them refamiliar. I think that's something we should start in July in preparation for August. Definitely no later than the first full week in August. So at least I'll have a couple of weeks of getting back to bed early. Okay. Getting to bed early in preparation for school. Okay. Go ahead and go over your morning routine. Okay. We're going to get up. We're going to go to the restroom. We're going to brush our teeth, wash our face, brush our teeth. We're going to get our clothes or do our hair and then after get our clothes on or get your clothes on, then I'm gonna do your hair after. Whatever your routine is, go ahead and restart that routine. Do y'all eat breakfast at home? Do y'all eat breakfast together in your pajamas? And then you go back and brush your teeth and then put your clothes on. Whatever your morning routine is with your children, go ahead and start that morning routine a few weeks before school starts so they are ready for what is going to happen when they have to get up to catch that bus for school or get up so you can take them to school. So practice your morning routine. If you are a person or a parent, legal guardian, adult who is keeping children and preparing them for school, nannies, aunties, grandparents, and such, if you don't want them eating the school food, I encourage you to go ahead and meal prep the night before. Like meal prep their lunch, meal prep their snack. Like go ahead and prep their drink. If they take water bottles to school, like go ahead and prep everything so it is ready for the next morning. There are mornings where we do get up late. Even us adults, we snooze like 10 times before we get up. And so go ahead and prepare whatever food you need to take or whatever food your child needs to take to school that next day. Go ahead and get it ready, y'all. So you're ready come the next morning when it's time to catch that bus or either go to school by car. Or walking or biking or however you get to school, your children get to school. Go ahead and prepare all your meals ahead of time. And let your children help you prepare. If that's something that you want to do together, let them help you pack their snack and pack their meals, as a family activity. Also, go ahead and get your school supplies ready. It is so interesting. I was out at the store the last few weeks, and I was out at the school, I think, or out at the store in June or early July. And I started getting school supplies because we have community day. And usually I'm a vendor with my nonprofits and we provide school supplies at the tables. And so I'm usually there early getting, stuff for my nonprofit to give out to the students that come through. And so there was a plenty of stuff at that time. But these last few weeks, I've been seeing families out in the stores and they're looking frantically for school supplies. And I'm like, well, you got to get here early, child, because they have a plenty. There were still some things left, but like like most of the sales and things had already gone. And so they were scrambling trying to get their school supplies. Go on and shop for your school supplies early. As a matter of fact, if you can, go ahead and get some extra so that you can have throughout the year and maybe have some for next year too, okay? Because the babies, they're going to go on to school up until 12th grade. And for those who are going to college afterwards or trade school, they're going to need some school supplies. They might pencils, some folders, some notebooks. They may not need any crayons. They may need colored pencils and markers, depending on if they're working on projects and different things, and need to add graphs and different things. A lot of things are done digitally now, but some of the things we actually did by hand. And so go ahead and get your supplies and get them early and go ahead and pack them in the child's book bag. They're ready to go the next morning. If your child is nervous or worried or stressed about starting school, if they're a kindergarten or a pre-K going to school for the first time, or if they're transitioning from elementary to middle school or middle school to high school, they may be anxious or worried about that or feeling stressed about that. Have that conversation maybe a couple of weeks before school gets started. Have a conversation, teach them some breathing techniques, some mindfulness practices, if that's what you choose to do. Or if prayer is your answer, teach them how to pray, say a silent prayer to themselves. And meditation is what you do. Whatever it is, some words of encouragement, some affirmations. Give your child the tools that they need so that they can navigate that stress, that worry, that anxiety throughout the school day. Okay. I remember one of my 5-year-olds was preparing for kindergarten, and he I don't know how we got to, I think I started asking him, are you excited to go to kindergarten? And he said no. I said, well, what's going on? He said, I'm worried about making new friends. I said, okay. I said, well, I understand that. And I gave him a little conversation. The next time I went to see him, which was that same week, I took some social stories about starting a new school. And the social stories that I got was starting a new school, and then it was like going to gym class, going to math class, not math class, but going to music class, and all the different spaces, going to gym that they may encounter. And so I brought them to him. I was like, okay, which one do you want to read? And so we read the story about starting a new school. And of course, it talked about new teachers, new friends, and making friends, having a positive attitude. And so we read that social story. We talked about it. And I'm praying that it helped him as he is, transitioning to kindergarten. Will start next week. And so, whatever, there are social stories out there available for you as parents to tap into. If you need that tool to help support your child in navigating any stress, worry, or anxiety they may have, starting a new school year, starting with a new teacher, making new friends, new classroom. Like I said, making those transitions from grade area like elementary to middle school or middle school to high school. It can be tough. Even high school to college, even making that transition, even these young adults can get nervous and stressful and experience some anxiety. So again, have a conversation with your student, whether they're young or whether they're an older student. Have that conversation with them so that they will have the tools to navigate that successfully, and so that they know you got their back, that you're supporting them as they make this new or take this new leap in their lives. Discuss any goals you may have, like maybe your child is going to third grade, and going to third grade, y'all, EOG integrated testing starts in third grade. That could be a whole nother worry or anxiety because a lot of emphasis is placed on state testing. So have that conversation as well. So it could be that one of the goals is like if your child is struggling in reading, we know we got to take the reading EOG, maybe let's decide that we're going to read one book every night for 15 minutes, and we're going to have a book discussion about it. By the end of the week, you're going to do a book report just to make sure you understand it. We'll talk about it. Maybe we'll even put on a play together on Friday night, about the story, just to to re-emphasize the story and re-emphasize your understanding of the information that was presented in the story. So like you can make it a whole big thing. You can be as creative as you want to be, as families, to support your children in school. Like let's have a math night where we're playing math games in the evenings. Just see what goals your child has for themselves and what goals you have for them. Talk about that, write them down, and add steps to reach that goal. And once that goal is reached, add a new goal and another new goal as goals are reached. It will help build confidence and self awareness. Allow your child to celebrate their wins, navigate any difficult moments as they're navigating math or ELA or whatever the subject may be. And then it produces a nice camaraderie and communication and unity within the family as well. So think about the goals and have a discussion, make some plans. Make sure that you're going to your school's open houses. If they're having, we used to have, when I was an instructional assistant, this was years ago, we used to have an ice cream evening for the rising kindergartners. So they would come to the school, meet the teaching staff and administrators, and we would have some ice cream, child. And so, if your school has that kind of like an ice cream night or whatever night prior to you going to school, yeah, excuse me. Go to those events over the summer. Go to any teacher meet and greets. Definitely go to your open houses so that you can meet your teachers, especially if it's a new area, new school. That way you can see where the school is. Your child can see where the school is for them going. They can meet their teachers, meet maybe the specialist teachers that are there, like the math, not math, but art and PE, music. Sometimes science has been I've seen science as an elective for students, or at least in the rotation. It wasn't necessarily elective, but it was in the rotation of specials like the art, the gym. I don't know if people do technology like we used to have, but media center is definitely one of those specials. So it lets them meet the special teachers that everybody's going to see at some point during the week, and it lets them know where the cafeteria is, where the bathrooms are, where their hall is, the kindergarten hall, first grade hall, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade hall, sixth grade hall, seventh grade hall, eighth grade hall, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. Lets them know where everything is, where the library is, where the specials, where the office is, where the nurse's station is, or the nurse's office is, counselor's office, social worker's office, for those who have, what every school have, and we just share them. Those social workers and counselors, they sometimes have multiple schools that they're serving, but it lets your child see where they're going to be going and meet some people, and maybe they can meet some new friends while they're there as well. Before you go to school, make sure that you're getting your checkups. Make sure your child's hearing is checked, their eyes are checked, they have their a yearly physical happening, if that's, because y'all know those are preventative measures, and so gotta wait your year. So if it was August, you might have to wait till September to make sure that you're not paying out of pocket costs, or potentially not paying out of pocket costs. So get your regular. You know what, y'all? A school that I used to work at some years ago, we actually had a clinic on site right at the school that the families could come, and like, for those who wanted vaccinations, I am in agreement with children being vaccinated. I am. That is my personal opinion. Those are my personal thoughts, that I think children should be vaccinated. Now, if you are a family that you don't want your children vaccinated, that's your choice. For personal reasons, for religious reasons, that is your choice. But I believe that all children should be vaccinated, have some vaccines. And so anyway, we had a clinic on site. So those families who wanted to get a vaccine, they can make an appointment, get the vaccine. We can go down, get the children checked out. Like, it was so nice just having a clinic with licensed nurses serving our school. Y'all, it was the best. And it wasn't just for us. Like, there were other children in the community that could come there and get their vaccinations and get their up. Like, it was just really nice to have that service, at the school. That service is no longer there, but it was really nice to have that service. It was probably about eight or so years back. And so yeah. So anyway, so get your doctor's appointments. If get your vaccines. If vaccines is what you have agreed with or agreed to for your family. Again, I'm in agreement with vaccines. And so if you are get your vaccines. I know for pre-K, you got to have some vaccines, y'all, unless it's like a religious reason. There might be some other guidelines that make you exempt, but for the most part, we I feel like we need those vaccines to help protect your child and other children from some of the sicknesses that are prevalent even still today. And just one thing that I did, last thing I'm going to say is one thing that I did with my niece and nephew who have been with me the longest when they were younger, even when they were with me during spring break and even when they were with me during the summer, we did homework. Every night we're reading, when they were younger in particular, we're reading no less than 15 minutes every single night. You're going to read that story. And then you're going to tell me what the story was about. We're going to talk about it. When they got a little bit older, we did chapter books. Like me and my niece, sometimes we would get the same chapter book and we would read it together and we would discuss it, especially if it was a time where it was just me and her. My nephew didn't come that year because of football or whatever, which only happened at like maybe 1 or 2 years. But even when he was there, sometimes we would get a book and we would read it together and discuss it. And so get your children back in the routine of learning. Start them with 15 minutes reading each night, or give them a math assignment to do, or a reading assignment, or work on some science together, like bake some cookies together and talk about measuring and what happens with when the flour and the egg and the salt and the sugar and all of the ingredients combine. Like, what does that do? Like, there are ways that you can incorporate learning into everyday life with your children. So go ahead and start them back on that routine of learning, okay, so that they're ready to go when their school year or when their school reopens. All right, y'all. And so that's all I have to say about that. Again, it is National Black Business Month. You all know I love me some Black-owned businesses. I was going to get the products together. I was, y'all. Y'all already know what products I have because I've been talking about it for the last several years. So I was going to gather the products that I still have. I'm running out of some stuff, and I need to do some reordering, which hopefully I can get done in the next few weeks or a month or so. But I was going to gather the products together, show them to you, but I didn't feel like gathering products together because I didn't want to have to put them back. So y'all just got to listen to my voice for a few of the Black-owned businesses that I absolutely love. But before I get there, you all, I'll just go ahead. I meant to pull up my website because y'all know I got these Black-owned businesses on my website. So that y'all on Black-owned product. I love me some lip balm. Y'all, every time I wear my Boss Lady, my BAWSE Boss Lady lip, I get compliments almost every single time I wear it. It was like one of my coworkers, she was like, "Oh, that red is pretty on you." I said, "Lip bar." So now when she sees me, she's like, because even when I said the lip bar, she said, "I should have known because it's you. I should have known that was a lip bar, matte." And so get you purchase from Black-owned businesses. I know we almost out. We got 30. So we got 31 days in August. So we got 11 more days. If you have not been buying from your Black-owned businesses, I encourage you to do so. It is National Black Business Month where we support our Black-owned businesses. So the lip bar is by far one of my favorite. Coco Elan, that's where I get my deodorant from, and my body deodorant, some soap. Y'all, I love Coco Elan. I was putting on my Coco Elan this morning, was like, "Oh, I'm getting low." And the young lady who owns it, she must have known because she sent me a coupon through the email. She's like, "Oh, you hadn't ordered in a while." I was like, "I thank you for that coupon because I am due for an order. Thank you very much." Thank you very much. Y'all know I love my Flawless Natural Soaps. Bianca has taken a break because her and her husband have had their second child. So they're taking care of family, and I respect that and love that. But when they're back online, child, I'm going to let y'all know. True Laundry, child, was washing clothes yesterday. So get you some True Laundry detergent. I absolutely love it. It's by 3 seasoned Black men. 2 of them are veterans. I think all of them have been in the business sector at some point in their lives. True Laundry detergent is a staple in my home. They have the liquid laundry detergent. They have the sheets. They also have softener, dryer sheets as well. So True Laundry detergent. Do not be fooled. Look for True Laundry detergent because they some imposters out there, child. Y'all know how they do when Black-owned businesses get something. They be trying to copying things. What's my oil? Where do I get my oil from? Elvi, girl, y'all got to get y'all some Elvi. Elvi has men products and lady products, but it don't matter. It's oil. If you're a man or a woman, you can use this oil. Now, some of the scents are maybe a little bit too feminine for men potentially, but she does have a male line, and I am down to I think my last 2 tins of the body butter. Y'all, I love Elvi. It's Ellevie. She pronounces it Elvi. That's my go-to. Okay, I got that right. I was looking at some of it. I have used it on my lips before because I think I was out. I had some of my Elvi spray oil, and I was like, "Oh man, I think I forgot my Kobe's," which I'm gonna talk about in a minute. And I was like, "I'm gonna get me a little bit of this. It's got shea butter, and it's gonna work. It was just fine." I don't know if I recommend it for all the time, but for right then, I needed it, so I used it. Y'all, Kobe's Co. That is the lip balm that I use, and Kobe has a new he has some new things that have come out. I was looking at it a couple of weeks ago, and I don't remember the new products that he has, but he does have some new things that are out. That is my go. I keep a Kobe. Matter of fact, right now I got 2 Kobe lip balms on my little tray that I keep all of my moisturizers and face stuff on. I got 2 of them out. That's just how I love me some Kobe's, y'all. Kobee, Kobe's. Like there have been people trying to imitate Kobe's, and there are other lines out. Go with Kobe's, y'all. His product, I recommend it. I got family members using Kobe's. Come on in here, somebody. Like when it's a product that I love, I'm telling everybody, okay? So I told my coworkers, like Kobe's, that's my staple. That's a staple in my home. I have a couple of ones that I haven't used, but I'm still about to get me an order because I don't ever, ever, ever want to run out of Kobe's. And the thing about Kobe's is it is in a sustainable tube. Like it is a biodegradable tube that you can recycle or put it in your compost, y'all. So it's not only great for our lips, uses only a few ingredients, but it is great for the environment. Come on in here, somebody. So y'all, those are my staples that I buy like consistently. I'm due for some sister teas. So I've been looking at sister teas and I'm due for some sister teas. But you all, those are my staples. The Lip Bar, Kobe's, Elvi, Coco Elan, True Laundry. Those are like things I keep in my home. And I got to get some more Leafy products. Leafy products is the toilet paper I started using earlier this year, but they went through some remarketing and rebranding. And so they have and then they moved into a larger warehouse. So they had some changes happening. And so they stopped their orders, or at least, yeah, they stopped their orders. I don't know if they stopped their orders for their subscribers. That I can't be sure. I was not a subscriber. And so anyway, now they're back up and running. I need to order me some Leafy. Okay. So that will continue to, and I only ordered a box at one time just to make sure. Wrong for that. I gotta order, make sure I keep some Leafy products in stock because I love their toilet tissue. It is made using bamboo, and the toilet tissue roll itself is sustainable, so you can recycle. And I think it is also biodegradable, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so you all, those are the things you all can always order from determinedpublishing.com. That is my business, my romantic faith field books. That is available for your purchase as well. Y'all, I have got to get up because I've got to go get this book and show it to you. Again, it's National Black Business Month. And so you all will want to order from this Black-owned business. I'm so sorry that I forgot to bring it over. I had it on my mind to bring it over and forgot. So y'all I'm gonna have to just step away, y'all. Sorry about that. Let me get my life together so y'all ain't got to see everything. All right, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Okay, y'all, look. I bought the whole box over. Y'all forgive my slides. I'm just sliding. I done bought the whole box over. So look, my friend Dara V. Rose has released not her first book. This is not her first book. She has many books. She has released her memoir. Ooh, I wish I could shout right now, y'all. So I am gonna brag and say I got an advance copy. Come on here, somebody. I've had my copy since the summer. Her book was released let me get my calendar. It was released on the 10th. But I got mine during the summer. Hallelujah, y'all. And so y'all bypass, don't look at the sticky notes. Because y'all, I had to highlight some things. This book is so this is her book, Born for This, by Dara V. Rose. This is her memoir. It says a journey through faith. Excuse me, let me try that again. A journey through family, faith, and finding my voice. Y'all need to get this book. Y'all, this book is so good. Dara is so, I mean, she just lays it out there, y'all. She is so honest and transparent and lays it out there in this book. This book is going to bless you when you read it. I'm going to say when you read it, not if you read it, but when you read it, it's going to bless you. It's going to bless your family. It's going to bless your friends. It's going to bless your coworkers, your community. If you are a women's group, talk to your women's leaders, your women group leaders, your women's ministry leader, and see if you all can order this book and study it as a women's group. Even if you didn't go through some of the things that Dara went through in her book, which I did not, I still identified, oh my God, with the feelings and the emotions and the things that happened in her life. I could still identify with even what came out of it, like what came out of what she experienced in her life. Y'all, this book is so powerful. It's so powerful. I read it. I want to go back and reread it. I have some sticky notes that I want to go back and reread it again, and I am. But I just feel blessed to have been able to read it ahead of time and to hear my friend's heart and to hear her story. I'd heard some of her story, but again, she really laid it out here. And then she offers reconciliation. She offers restoration through God and through his word. Child, if you are a church person, some of this, it's going to take you there. It's going to take you there. If you are not a church person, it's going to take you there. Like, she is so real, even about church. Now, God is always God. Now, she done stuck with God from beginning to the end. But even still having questions, and even still not understanding why this is happening, and even still questioning the church. Y'all, and me and her, when we have our conversations, we have real talk about church. We have real talk about, because we never question God. Like, God is God. He is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. But we do be talking about some church things. Let me just lay it out real. We be talking about some church things, and she lay out some church things. Woo! You can be saved. You can be an atheist. You can study. You can be Catholic. You can be a Muslim. It don't matter your religion, because this book is not about religion. It is about God healing and delivering. Oh, the woman of God. Oh, y'all get this book. Like, you do not. This is not written for the Christian person. It is written for everybody who is brave enough to sit, to think about, to consider how our history has impacted who we are today, how our trauma and or other past things have impacted who we are today, why we act how we act, why we do what we do. And it offers, like I said, restoration. Oh, I just want to shout. Get this book for your women's group. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. If y'all have a women's conference, make this book available to your women. I don't care if you purchase it and you hand it to them in the women's conference bag. I don't care if you make it available for purchase. Contact Dara. I'm going to put her link in the description because I didn't pull it up to put in the chat. Pull it up, put it in the description. I'm gonna put it in the description. Get this for every woman in your life. Get this for them. Men, y'all can benefit too. Let me just tell you, men can benefit from this book as well. Okay, men, you can benefit from this book as well. If you are a clinical person, you are a psychologist, a sociologist, a counselor, a therapist, get this book and read it for yourself and see because I believe it will help your clients. I believe with everything within me that it will help your clients as well. But you get it and you read it for yourself and you let it speak to you first. But I believe it can help your clients too. Now, that's just my personal opinion. You read it for yourself to see if this is something that you want to introduce to your clients. Child is good. Born for this name. I didn't even tell y'all the title. Did I tell y'all the title? If I didn't tell y'all the title, I apologize. Born for this name. Oh my goodness. Born for this name. So I thought my friend Dara was just gonna send me the book. Y'all, she done sent me a whole box. She done sent me a whole box. Now your box not gonna look like my box. Okay. Your box is gonna be tailored for Born for This Name book. Okay. So this is my box. Her ministry is 12 Cups of Grace. You can find Dara on 12 on social media at 12 Cups of Grace. Truth for everyday life. I will put the link in the description as well so you all can have it. Let me tell y'all something. Ephesians 2, 8, and 10. Look it up for yourself. Girl, she gave me this whole big box and she's putting together a box that will accompany the book. I believe that will be released in September. I'm not even going to show y'all the rest of it because she didn't say I could. But y'all, I got my scripture cards. I got my stickers. I got my tea. I got my honey. I got a pen. I got my mug. Child, she done sent me the whole box, and I am going to be purchasing once the box releases for Born for This Name. I'm gonna be purchasing that as well, y'all. This book has really been a blessing. I also have my journal. Well, I call it a journal because it's not really a journal you can write in, but it's a journal that takes you through the stories that she teaches in 12 Cups of Grace. It takes you through some of the women and some of the men in the Bible, y'all. It's called 12 Tea-Filled Stories. If you get an opportunity to get this, I will show this to you. 12 Tea-Filled Stories. If you get an opportunity to purchase this is volume 1, the 2026 edition. I encourage you to get this, y'all. It has some really great information in it. And I call it a journal because I can write in it. I can do my activities in it. So just anything that I can like tap into like this, I consider it to be a journal. But it's not a traditional journal. It is a journal that takes you through a journey of the people in the Bible and what we can learn from them and how we might be able to apply the lessons in their lives to our own lives. Okay. And so I just wanted to introduce this to you. I'm going to put the link in the description so you all can go there and get the book for yourself. Get it for every woman in your life. And when the box comes out, be prepared to get the box. When it releases, I'm going to let you all know that it has released. And I'll put the information so that you can share it with your family and your friends. This book is going to bless so many lives, and I'm really excited that I was able to share it with you tonight. Born for This Name by Dara V. Rose. Okay. So that is it for me. Next, so this is also national. So y'all, I thank you in advance for buying the book and sharing it with your people, sharing it with your community. I think in advance, I'm going to thank every therapist, every psychologist, every counselors for getting the book for yourself and reading it for yourself. And maybe even sharing it with your clients if you feel so inclined to do that. So that's that, right? So this is August is actual National Wellness Month as well. So next Thursday, I will teach a wellness session and we will participate in wellness practices. So tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, let everybody know there is a wellness session on the Stephanie Humphrey, the Stephanie Humphrey channel and the Stephanie Humphrey podcast next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Be Well Connection will be a co-sponsor. We are going to again share some wellness information with you, and we will participate in some mindfulness practices as well as some chair yoga. I might even do a few standing poses depending on how things go, but it will most likely stay as chair yoga. Okay. Thank you all so much for joining Sip and Say with Stephanie. I pray that you have a great rest of this evening, a great rest of the week and weekend. And one thing I want to say is love on the people in your life. Tell your family that you love them, love on them. Let them know that you are there for them. Check on them, check in with them, and let them know that you are there to support them. Let them know that you love them. Let them know that you have their back. Just check on your family, check on your friends, y'all. Check on your friends. Make sure your friends are okay. Make sure that they're not doing too much. Make sure that they're taking some mental wellness breaks. Make sure that they're stepping away from the computer. Be like texting, like, been on that computer for 3 hours. Don't step away for about 10 to 15 minutes. Like, check in with your people. That's all I'm saying. Check in with your people. Okay, y'all? All right, my name is Stephanie Humphrey, and I approve that message. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and like this broadcast, like this episode, like the podcast. Again, share it with your family, friends, coworkers, share it with your community, and I will see you all back, Lord willing. I will see you all back next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. for the Stephanie Humphrey channel and the Stephanie Humphrey broadcast. I love you all. Take care and be blessed. Bye bye.